Well, I love the Ninja Scroll and Ghost in the Shell. I mean, I know those are older, but for some reason, like those older anime films still stick out to me the most because a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, there's so much of it, so oversaturated. I think that I'm sure there's some gems out there, but they just get lost in the shuffle because, I mean, I guess they don't theatrically release them here like they used to. I don't know if just because they think there's no real market for it.
Think about things have changed. I mean, even when they released something like Akira, they had to do it strategically, like playing it at a lot of college campuses and art house theaters. Because
like the Dolby, like I said, that's like a college. Well, at one point, it was like the art house theater you go to and is located on campus. And that's where I saw a lot of those films. Yeah,
and that's what but today it's such a specialized audience, and there's so much money to be made on DVD.
Oh yeah.
So you don't see a lot of it released theatrically like you would back then. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I can see exactly why they would do that. But you mentioned Ghost in the Shell, which there was a TV series. I thought the movies were kind of boring, but they did a TV series for it, and the TV series has like a great budget to it. I can't understand. I've seen those shows like 10 times over. Like they cycle through, and
you still don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't know what the fuck is happening, but it looks great. If I can recommend one anime to people, if you like the Terminator, there was a cool version. I think the movie was called Black Magic M66. It had a robot that was a female robot built for the military, and you had this journalist who's going out looking at the story, and she has to try to stop this robot that broke loose. And it's kind of like what you wanted to see the Terminator do before they made Terminator 2, because this robot was doing all kind of badass things.
Wow.
And it was, I mean, you know, the Japanese, they had the robot doing martial arts and shooting out fucking bombs out of it when people try to stop it, poison gas. There's a scene where this girl's trapped in the elevator with this robot, and she has to have this device in the middle of them because she can't get out of the elevator, so they have to like scale the walls to get away from it. It's called Black Magic M66. It was one of my favorite movies when it came out back in the day. Watch it. I know I'm geeking out right now. The question was about anime, so
well, hey, I'll throw in one real quick.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me stop and render real quick. Right. We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Go take a piss.
After this quick render. All right, we're back here.
All right.
Damn, co-host just showed me the end of that Scarecrow movie. It's on YouTube. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, it is on YouTube, and the correct title it's called Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Now, Batman's not in it, so don't get too worried. But no, it's called Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. It came out in 1981, and it was Charles Durning who played a postal worker. He wasn't a sheriff. I thought it was a sheriff, but it was a postal worker.
And Charles Durning, you'll know.
He was Hudsucker, and he's a character actor. He was Hudsucker in Hudsucker Proxy.
Okay,
But he's the one that grabs a group of guys, and they go after Bubba the retard. Basically, mysterious deaths start to occur on these guys. And this scarecrow, scarecrow just appears in their pastures, which these guys notice, which is the creepy part. But you never see the scarecrow move or anything until, obviously the real creepy ending I described. And I just watched it, and it still creeps me out.
All right, that's it. Hey, did you have some? Were you about to bring up something?
Oh yeah. As far as we were talking about anime. Wicked City. I don't know if that's out of print or if you can find that, but Wicked City,
that's fucked.
That movie is fucked up, but it's so awesome. I mean, think Men in Black, with the exception of they're going after creatures that are like the Thing. Instead of going after aliens, they're going after demons.
And they look like genitalia. Or
something. You see these hot, they'll be like hot chicks luring a guy into a room only to find out that her arms all of a sudden turn to spider legs, and her vagina all of a sudden has teeth, and like it's chomping away. It's the craziest thing, and it has like this perverted little old guy who's just looking to fuck with any opportunity he gets. He's like he looks like it's like a perverted Yoda. And there's a really crazy scene where he's like going to town on this one chick, and all of a sudden he starts to realize that she starts to melt, and he starts melting inside her, and he's like inside her breast, and he's like suffocating, and her breast is like,
I remember that scene.
It's crazy, yeah.
That movie really it messed with my mind, man. I was like, that's when I was like, I don't know if I can get into this kind of shit.
It is crazy, but it's awesome though. I mean, like I said, it's a hardcore version, I think, of like Men in Black.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, Wicked City. It's worth a watch.
It is. It's made by the guys who did Ninja Scroll. So
and Ninja Scroll is another crazy ass movie.
Yeah, which I love. I love that film.
All right, here we go on to an email from Samantha. Samantha says,
abroad.
Yeah, Chicky. And she's got a good email here, too. Mm-hmm. She says, I grew up watching Westerns with my dad and have loved and appreciated them all my life. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm starting to notice that most people my age don't have an appreciation for them. And most people who do, they're in the ages of 35 or over. Mm-hmm. So she says, I just saw 3:10 to Yuma. The theater was full of people who were 40 and over. And let me skip down here. What does she say? She's like, she said she thought it was a really good Western, and she thought it was. Let me pull this.
What's the question, Corey?
I know, man. I should edit these things. I'm like, and
yes, we should prepare like Leon.
I am prepared here, man. But the thing is that I moved. Man, I got so much shit to do. I just grabbed
Corey's
these emails.
a busy man.
Exactly.
Doing animation.
Animation. Let me see. I just skipped to the point here.
Yes.
She says.
Now, she is right though about older people being into westerns. I know. Until my computer circuits were getting nice and old and rusty, I started to really appreciate westerns.
Well, here's what she says. She says.
Is that what she says?
She's like, okay, here's what she says. Seriously, she says, I know that if younger people would sit down and watch a good Western, they would see how incredible it is and want to watch more. But let's be honest. Do you think that's really going to happen? Westerns used to be one of the most popular genres in film, but now they're only getting 1 or 2 a year. Do you think the Western is a dying genre? I hope it isn't. Well, Samantha, look, I mean, the Western is something, it's never going to die. I mean, it's not, but it's not going to be something that you can do every, about 10 a year. It's a very specialized genre.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some genres which are just not going to go away, even if we see a little bit of them. Now, some genres are a product of their time, and you're never going to see them like they were again. Thing that comes to mind is blaxploitation. Blaxploitation, that was a reaction to its time. And today, some of the imagery in that is probably even offensive.
And Corey, might I say, let us have a moment of silence right now. For Rudy Ray Moore.
Man, I'm going to get into that. I mean, we'll do it right now. We'll take a minute right here.
Yeah.
Like, not a minute, but we'll take about 3 seconds of silence here. Motherfucker! He made that a line. Motherfucker!
Yeah.
But yeah, blaxploitation, you're never going to really see that like it was when it first came out because again, there were two things going on. Some of the imagery was offensive because it was made by people who just didn't understand black people. And then some of it was made by black people who made it as a reaction to what was going on in cinema then. You don't have sort of you don't have the gatekeepers who are stopping black people from actually being in movies as like you did back then, are being more prominent in films. But westerns, that's an adventure genre. You can always find a good way to make a western.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's good ways to make modern day westerns right now. I mean, where obviously a lot of films, take some of their characters and plots straight from westerns, and which westerns took that from a lot of samurai films.
Yeah,
I mean, Yojimbo. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like we're always going to see period pieces of certain films. I mean, we're going to. Every now and then, we're going to get a swashbuckling movie that's based on a pirate. Are we going to see a pirate movie every month? No. I mean, we're going to see. I mean, it's just like with anything. I mean, we're going to see certain types, and all of it falls under adventure. I mean, a Western falls under the adventure the same way that a pirate movie would, or even a science fiction movie would in a certain way. It's a mythology that keeps it going.
Oh yeah,
we have this mythology of the cowboy that's out there, that like the lone guy who goes on against the opposition, or who goes out in the middle of the street to take on somebody one on one.
And he's not necessarily a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, well, at one time he was the hero, and now we've found a way to actually re-examine that.
See,
and
I come from my westerns, or basically Sergio Leone films.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that turned me on to westerns. When I finally actually watched and really paid attention, they blew me away. I mean, the cinematography, the characters. I mean, and none of those guys are straight up good guys.
Yeah.
And those movies, it made me really appreciate westerns. And when I was getting into that, a few years later, then 3:10 comes out, and that movie, I was like, okay, wow, that's about as close as you can get. That, and of course, Unforgiven. Unforgiven is basically, we talked about this before. It's almost Clint Eastwood's love letter to the Sergio Leone films. But I mean, I'd rather wait for great westerns to come out every once in a while, every few years, instead of them just coming out as like just like the fantasy film for kids, where there's going to be one great one and then a bunch of bad imitators.
Yeah.
So when they do come out, I mean, like 3:10, and I didn't see the Jesse James film.
A lot of look, it was a good movie. It was a good art film. It's not a western in the sense of the gunslinger going in and taking on a bunch of guys coming into town and saving the day. Nothing like that. It was more of a thoughtful film. But I mean, let's look at it. There's always these elements that we're going to want to see that can be transferred to anything, and even if it's put within a western, which is what a lot of people use to describe what they're doing. I mean, a lot of people describe Star Wars as a western.
Oh yeah, exactly. Han Solo is the gunslinger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people describe a lot of cop movies that we see today a western. Some people describe RoboCop as a western.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the western is a template for certain adventures and certain mythologies, so you're always going to have that western film come out.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then, we're going to want to see that gunslinger go into town and either take on that one bad guy or fend off a bunch of bad guys who are coming in to just burn everything down and rape and pillage or whatever. Because that's the hero, you know. I mean, so yeah, there you go. It's not a dying genre whatsoever. No. All right, so hey Corey, with the Quantum of Solace movie coming out, that's the James Bond film,
the newest James Bond,
the latest one that'll be out in November. Who is your favorite Bond girl or favorite villain? And that is from Myths and Legends. Oh man, you know something? I'm going to give you the typical answer for a Bond girl, just because, and it is very shallow because it's the name, Pussy Galore.
Yeah.
And Pussy Galore came in. Now she was a badass too. I mean, she wasn't some Bond girl who James Bond was having sex with. She brought in her girls. Like she had a whole team of girls who came in.
Yeah, like
the Pussy Galore girls, and that was in Goldfinger that we saw Pussy Galore. And she came in ready to take on the villain, just like James Bond was. And she kind of helped James Bond out a little bit. Yeah, not just helping give him some ass, but So I would say that is my. That's my favorite Bond villain. I mean Bond girl. As far as a Bond villain goes, oh man, I mean,
they all start to kind of
they blend together. So
yeah,
much.
They do.
Look, if you want to take the quintessential Bond villain, the one that actually started the imagery of the guy who had who was behind the scenes working all of the shit, you know, the man behind the man working all the traps and the nefarious schemes and whatnot, Blofeld.
Blofeld,
Donald
Pleasant. I was just about to say, because I mean, out of all the villains,
I mean, he was.
I love Donald Pleasant just as an actor, but whenever he's the bad guy in that film,
he's an iconic villain.
He sticks out so much.
Because who do you think of? I mean, what do you think that image of the guy who sat down with the cat on his lap?
Oh yeah,
and like
from
I said,
him.
He worked from from a lair. He worked all of the shit. I mean, that was Blofeld. I mean, the guy. I think he actually had a lair in a volcano.
Yeah, Dr. Evil. I mean,
he was influenced by Dr. Evil and the Claw and
and Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. I'll get you. And he always had a cat on his lap and shit. Yeah,
exactly.
Now that's the exaggerated villain. I'm more the guy who likes the tamed down versions of James Bond because they got to be really silly. Like I was kind of getting tired of them because they would become.
I mean, it's a terrible question for me just because I didn't really get into the old Sean Connery James Bond until much later after seeing Austin Powers. So watching those films now, they're really hard to watch, at least for me, because they start turning into Austin Powers films all of a sudden, and it's really hard for me to pay attention.
Well, a lot of people would say Jaws, the guy with the
Jaws, yes.
Iron,
that's the guy. Yeah,
mouth.
that's the one I remember. When I was created around the time when Jaws was around, and Roger Moore was playing.
Moore was in,
was playing 007, and so I mean,
I love Yaphet Kotto in Live and Let Die, but I mainly love him because of his death. Like James Bond stuck like an air tube or something in him and blew his ass up, and that's the one where he had the guy from the Sprite commercial, Sprite, ha ha ha. It's the limiting one, whatever he says. But do you remember the villain that he fought, the voodoo doctor? And at the end of Live and Let Die, that voodoo doctor was on the back of the train.
Yeah.
You know, they
that crazy ass laugh. Yeah, that was like his villain power.
Yeah, laughing,
exactly,
hanging onto a train, laughing at the end of the credits.
I don't know what that power did, but he just managed to get away half the time just by laughing.
Poof! The 7-Up guy.
Exactly.
So I love that guy, but man, it's hard to find a villain because when you want to mention Bond villains, the most memorable ones right now are the cartoony ones.
Exactly.
And if you want to know the truth, I've told people who people thought I was crazy. I said I thought that the last Casino Royale was the best James Bond movie since Dr. No, which is the first
I agree.
Bond movie.
I agree. I was about to say the chick that was in that movie, she's my favorite Bond girl, to be honest.
Well, her last name is Green.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but she was hot, man. And this girl is poised to probably be one of my favorites because she's hot. And that's the girl from Hitman.
Yeah, the girl who only lasts about 10 minutes in
these video game movies.
Yeah, those video game movies. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Yeah, but anyway. As far as Bond girls, the chick from the last film.
Because I like the villain that they had
Pleasance.
Bond villains are known for being eccentric. Like they're known for, like we say, Jaws, Blofeld, somebody who has a voodoo guy as a sidekick or something.
Yeah.
But the guy in the last movie, La Sharif or whatever his name was a guy who he was sort of a business tycoon in a way.
Yeah.
Sort of a dealer. I guess he dealt in arms or something. But his only eccentric feature was that he just had blood come out of it. He cried tears. And and explained like he had some faulty tear duct or something.
Yeah.
So that was he wasn't too crazy. He was just a guy.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. I want Bond to get back.
He seemed realistic as far as the villain. I mean, he was still getting shit from the other guys. Like they were threatening to kill him if he didn't get his shit together. So I'm like, all right, I believe that. I can believe this villain. He's not straight up evil. He's not the untouchable villain.
Exactly. So and I appreciate that. So anyway, you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't.
All right. Let's see what we have next here. Hey, maybe you know this because I don't.
Yeah,
I'll admit
me.
I do not know. It says, hey guys, I was wondering, with Quarantine coming out as a zombie film, what is the deal with the World War Z movie? I was a huge fan of the book and I heard there was a movie coming out. And I was just wondering if you had any news or whatever.
None. Forget about it.
Thanks. Okay, that came from Handy Andy.
Handy Andy, yes. Handy Andy, there is no news on that whatsoever. You can look on the internet and you'll probably just end up reading the old news, which it's always getting ready to be in production.
Isn't it? It's not in production right now?
No.
I thought it was.
Yeah, unless you found out something recently, no. I have not heard anything as far as that movie moving forward. And I remember writing I remember reading something about it like a year or two ago where they talked about it's going into production, and then they'd say that the script was written by Straczynski.
Straczynski, yeah.
But I haven't heard a single thing as far as
Straczynski is a comic book writer, but he wrote he also wrote on some science fiction shows. I don't know that.
No, he did Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
He's written Rising Stars.
That's the comic book
Spider-Man.
series,
He did comic books for a while. But as far as it moving forward now, I mean, I remember reading stuff about that before the strike happened. So
You might want to look that up
strike.
at some point because I heard that they had a cast and all
I
kinds of
always
stuff.
I always hear the same shit, and every time I look to verify, I get nothing. But I'll look it up. I'll look it up right now if you want. So
I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, see if there's anything new because somebody swore to me that this was going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I'm not doubting you. I
I mean,
don't know.
honestly, if it were, if I mean, the last time I read something, if it wasn't production, you'd be seeing production stills right now. You know, people would be talking about it because it'd probably be one of the most anticipated zombie films ever. You know.
Look and see, man. I really thought that was going through. World War Z, by the way, it's a book by Max Brooks. That is Albert Brooks' son. Albert Brooks, the great comedy writer. Max Brooks has the first thing he wrote was the Zombie Survival Guide.
Survival Guide, yeah.
The Zombie Survival Guide, which is it's a manual written like an actual manual. Let's just say you're going camping or something. You get a book that shows you what to do.
And basically, if you've seen all of Romero's films, you don't really need to see it, but it's still entertaining. I mean, I love the part about using the sword.
It's a
to
great
kill
book.
zombies. Yeah, no, it's a great book. No, it is a great book.
As a science. It's like it's all. I mean, it's a humor book, but it's done exactly real. It's done totally real, and it's very straightforward. They say this is what you do if zombies attack. They explain that why zombies exist, why they don't decay, how they function, why they're reanimated, and then the book gives you an account of certain of zombie encounters throughout history that led up to the information they received to make this book. So it's written like a manual.
No, it is, and it's great.
And then he went to write World War Z, and the whole book is a fictional account of a great world war that happened due to the spread of a zombie virus and how the world came together almost from extinction to fighting it off. And it's all told from first person accounts.
Yeah.
So it's all written as if people said they were there.
And the audio book it has Mark Hamill and it has Mark Hamill here.
What's the dude from MASH? The great actor. Alan Alda.
Yeah. Alan Alda, he's on there. Let me see here.
But
it's an all-star cast on that audiobook, so you should go. You should definitely go pick it up. Yeah,
and I read the book. I've read both those. I mean, it's a great book. I mean, it starts out a little bit slow because it's kind of weird to get into because it just starts out from first-hand accounts.
Right.
So it's not like you're being drawn into a story. So you just have to get used to reading little bits and pieces.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard to see them really try to pull that off in a film. But
so
like I said, I'm looking while we're talking here. Pardon me. I wish I can get more involved in this conversation. I'm really.
I know. I'm sorry.
Hard,
okay.
I know you're asking me questions while I'm looking, and I'm like, Corey,
I'm looking. Damn it, I'm looking.
God damn it. But no. I mean, no. It's all the same shit. I mean, I'm looking on Wikipedia, which they're pretty good as far as updating. With production and no, nothing. It's same old.
All right,
crap.
I'm full of shit. Then I don't know. Yeah. I mean, if anybody out there knows, please, because I'm looking forward to the movie. If they get it going.
We'll make a blog about it. We'll post it.
Yeah, they were talking about it was Brad Pitt's company that was going to produce it.
So, yeah, Brad Pitt's looking at it. I mean,
I know.
God knows who else is looking at this.
Yeah,
but
you figure
I hope they do it right. I hope they do it some justice. You know, so. We'll wait and see, but like I said, I'm still looking, and I cannot find a single thing as far as anything going on as far
All
as
right, well,
production.
there you go. We don't know. We took the long way around saying we don't know.
Yeah. But but check out the audiobook. The audiobook's pretty cool. Like I said, Mark Hamill, Henry Rollins is on the book. Is on the audiobook. Let me see. Steve Park, you know who he is. I don't know who he is. John Turturro. John Turturro.
They got John Turturro on there?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. They got Brad Pitt on there.
It's a pretty
George
big
Clooney?
cast.
No, I don't know if those are on there.
But anyway, I'm just looking. I'm looking at this on Wikipedia right now. So, but we'll be the first to tell you.
Shit.
Enough about that. Next,
I don't know.
Yeah, next. It makes me depressed just because I'm like, ain't shit happening with that film.
That's just gonna be on DVD
exactly.
next week. It's made for $3.
Somebody's gonna hear this like, oh, did you hear it's moving forward? No.
In fact, I think that was the movie. Walking down Congress that day, I saw that zombie thing.
There you go.
When I almost hit that guy, they were filming it then.
Yeah.
I almost hit an extra on the set. So all right, we don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our next question here, which is from, now I don't know how to say this girl's name. If she spells it, you have to go and fuck it this up. Yeah, she's fucking with us, man. It's Nnie, so I don't know if it's Ni or Nni. Yeah, she. I'm the girl who says Ni. So I don't know.
A strawberry.
Girl, what is your name? Call us or something sometime. Let us know what your name is. I'm just going to say Ni. So she says, where do I start? I imagine you must be somewhat of an animation buff. I guess you're talking about me. And
More with the animation.
I know. And the art and marketing behind animation has changed so much with the introduction of newer technology, bigger studios, and computer graphics. What animated film, show, or even short do you think had the largest impact on the decade it was created in? And what was the impact? Well, real quick, we just talked about, if you want to know some innovative shows, Astro Boy and Speed Racer ushered in one phase of Japanese animation or anime, now a long time ago in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Then there was a complete second phase that I think happened with Akira. And we just talked about Akira. We don't even go into it a whole lot, but Akira actually brought in a whole new awareness to Japanese animation to the Western world here. So.
Keep going, Corey. All these animation questions are catered towards you.
Okay,
so
I'm
I'm a grown robot. I don't watch cartoons.
No, you just read comic books all day and ask me about video games.
Right?
Fuck you.
I do what a man does. Man robot.
Man bot. But so now, if you want to know what was probably one of the most influential films, now if you want to in America, like I said, Snow White ushered in the whole age of making theatrically feature-length animated movies. Disney, as far as recently with computer graphics,
Toy Story.
I was about to say Toy Story. Toy Story. That was made in '95, the first totally CG animated film. Everything followed suit after that. It was hugely successful, critically successful, did great numbers. So that had an impact on how we produce animated films today. That was one of the things that kind of started this whole deal with Disney saying, you know what, we're just going to work with Pixar, kind of give the boot to 2D animation after a while. And the rest is history. So that, needless to say,
and you got Wall-E. There you go.
And now you got Wall-E. As far as a short goes, well, if you want to know about computer graphics and animation completely, everybody's going to say Jurassic Park and whatnot. Tron.
Yes, Tron, definitely. Yes, a big influence.
That's the first one to really kind of bring in CG animation into films and use it extensively like it did. If I'm wrong, let me know. But
like
that's
the last Starfighter, too.
Yeah,
the last Starfighter had
that
a big
was, that was only because of Tron.
It was only because of Tron, but it started to push it as far as just when they started doing vehicles. And there's a really cool documentary on the last Starfighter DVD where they start doing the CG animation of the ships. And they have X-wing fighters.
Yeah.
Just a little demo of X-wing fighters flying around.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure obviously that people started working on those programs and it becomes the new special edition Star Wars.
Yeah. So. No, there you go. If you want to know what had the biggest impact on animation for television, we had a rebirth of animation on television because of The Simpsons. And I guess that rebirth kind of being animation playing in prime time. You had the Flintstones and some other Hanna-Barbera shows that were on in prime time back in the 60s. Yeah. But they've pretty soon.
Yeah. I'll even throw in South Park, Ren and Stimpy.
Well, that follows because I would say as far as adult animation being played in prime time, Simpsons did that.
Yeah, Simpsons did that. Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy influenced a whole style of animation that was just the wild, crazy style of animation. So, I mean, we can go on and on with certain things that had started a whole resurgence or a new genre of animation in a certain medium, but those are some of the highlights.
Right.
So, let's see.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Good question for Corey.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Let me see. No, this is a long one right here, and I'm not. Somebody wrote a fucking novel.
Great.
Just to ask
Let's
us.
read it, Corey.
I ain't reading that shit. No.
Let's read it. You're bringing it up. We might as well read it.
I'm not going to read. It's from okay, I don't even know who it's by. Okay,
I always love it when you give that answer. I have no idea.
I have not forgot to put that down. Whatever, you know who you are. But they pretty much just took 3 like paragraphs to
Yeah.
ask us, are you looking forward to Spider-Man 4 and 5? Not really. I mean,
no.
I
I mean, if they make the next one
Yeah, you go ahead and
up to
answer that.
par with part 2, yes. But after watching part 3, and if Marvel is still, you know, if they're still throwing in notes to Sam Raimi to throw shit in there that just Sam Raimi's not interested in, it's gonna suck, you know. Because if you ask me, Spider-Man 3, I'm not even gonna get into it. Spider-Man 3 was made by a committee. And it's there for you to see. It's a mess. I don't like it. So yeah, after watching that tragedy that Spider-Man 3 was, I can't say that I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm going to be curious to see if they're going to try to make up for that film.
It's funny because he says in all caps, I'm gonna stand back. I am not asking you and co-host to bitch about Spidey 3.
Hey,
I'm
sorry.
asking you guys to talk about Spidey 4 and 5. Now do this.
He's giving me orders on my show. Kid can go to hell with him and his questions. Shove that question up your ass. Don't talk to me like that on my show. What the fudge?
Well, I like
Sorry,
the way,
pal.
I like the way you say "fuck with me" about money. And all of a sudden, you throw a fudge out there.
Yeah.
Fudge with me.
I'm about to go crazy, Corey,
You
but I had to calm
motherfudger.
down. Yeah, you fudge you. Go fudge yourself, you and Spider-Man.
Dude,
Put some of his webs up your ass. But no. Webs on that mouth. Quit asking stupid questions.
That was me stupid ass question.
No. I'm sorry. It's a package deal. We just have to. I mean, because it bases our opinion on what we're going to think of
Well,
the
how
next
you
movies.
expect
I
us
mean,
to
yeah.
talk about
What do you-
Spider-Man 3
yeah.
and not
Well, it's
talk
like,
about Spider-Man
oh,
4
we
and
can't
5?
wait. It's going to be great. Epics. Sam Raimi. He ain't going to fuck it up.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Marvel is not going to fuck up their property. I guarantee it. They don't ever fuck up anything. Especially they never recast. They never do things they shouldn't do.
Shit.
Yeah. I hate Marvel, by the way. Marvel Studios, I hate
Do
them.
you?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Really? Why?
After reading about what happened to
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, why isn't the director bitching
Yeah,
right now
Terrence
to Marvel?
Howard is the guy, of course, who
Yeah.
was set to play Warhammer. What was his name in the movie?
War Machine
War
Warhammer.
Machine Warhammer.